on the radio, Mason in Ireland. Your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon. Do we don't get a growl from the big game, James Worthy?
Man, I wish you guys would have known we were going to be doing that. I would have been in on that.
Yeah. Give us a worthy clap, something.
Yeah, worthy
Can we get a worthy clap? Yeah.
There you go. Worthy clap in there.
Worthy clap is right. So we are live at 1413 Hawthorne Boulevard at the Big Ralph's in Redondo Beach, and we are joined by Big Game James Worthy all afternoon long. If you are in the South Bay, if you're in the neighborhood, come by, hang out with us, come meet Big Game James and John Ireland, and I'll be here too.
How you feeling today, Big Game?
I feel good, John. You know my motto is, every day I wake up,
amen.
Everything after that is a bonus.
Amen.
I don't care what it is. So I'm happy to be here with you guys. As you know, I neglected to play golf on my Tuesday game, took a lesson, so I've accepted that.
Yes, we missed you.
And so, you notice how I say I accepted the lesson. But, yeah, man, things are good. Good to be here with you and Mace.
How was Media Day? Yeah, tell us about Media Day.
We always have fun on Media Day, because we have all summer to, reconcile with the season before and then start something new. It was good. I think Coach J.D. Redick is bringing a whole new, system in, a new attitude, the way the guys are going to be thinking, and you could tell that the chemistry had already formed at media day. The way they were talking, the way they were consistent. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
In your opinion, how much difference in the NBA does a coach make? Because they're bringing back the same team, but they've changed the whole coaching staff. Can it have that tangible of a difference? Do you think one thing like that, even though it's not a player, can make a big difference?
Yeah, I think communication is so key now, as opposed to when you had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton and myself, Michael Jordan. We had at least 3 years with a college coach.
Right.
And so I think that makes a big difference. That's just a small part of it. But I think the way you communicate, Redick is young. He's fresh off the floor, so to speak. His analysis is pretty good about the way he perceives the game. When he doesn't like to be compared to anybody, but when you think of young minds, Steve Kerr is a young mind like that. Pat Riley, when he started out, had a young mind, the ability to communicate directly and get the best. So we'll see. It's yet, and I think his assistant coaches, I think, will benefit. He'll benefit from having some experienced assistant coaches as well.
Yesterday LeBron said after practice, I don't have any expectations. It's unfair to put any expectations on us right now. The only thing we can do is count on each other and how we come to practice and how we come to work every day. What are expectations for this team, in your mind?
Exactly what he just said. You got to come to work. So if you come to work as a Laker, that's the only team I played for. With this team, a healthy team, look, I expect them to get to the Western Conference Finals and win the Western Conference Finals. That's just me.
Nice.
That's just me. I have to have that seed planted. I can't have, a nothing. I know their goal is to win games and, maybe avoid play-in and all that stuff. But for me, I may be a little old school. I got to have that goal is to win the Western Conference to get me to the finals. We're that good when we're healthy.
I really thought, James, that last year the one team we didn't want to play was Denver. And sure enough, we drew Denver, and we were out in one round. I thought if we drew another team other than Denver, we could go 1 or 2 rounds in. I don't know if we would have made it to the finals. But am I overrating last year's team? Do you think that? Do you agree with me that Denver was the wrong matchup, or were they just not good enough?
I never like to avoid teams because you're going to have to play them anyway if you want to get by them. But I do think had we had Vanderbilt healthy, I think if Gabe had been healthy a little bit earlier, we had. I don't know if Woods he's a better shooter. He can stretch the floor. I'm not really sure he was the Dwight Howard that we had in 2020. But he definitely could have, give us some contribution off the bench. We didn't have any of that. That's not an excuse. We still should have won 12 to 14 games to exclude and stay out of the play-in game.
Right.
Maybe would have been up further in the ratings. But Denver was a better team. They've been together long enough. That coach has developed them over time. It didn't happen by mistake. I remember when Murray was down, they told him, look, we believe in you. We're going to stick with you. They added the missing pieces, stayed together. But now I think the Lakers are healthy. I think we can compete with anybody. On
Monday, we got to talk to LeBron and Bronny separately. You got to talk to them on Spectrum Sportsnet together. What was that like? Because that's pretty momentous.
Yeah, we made history. I don't know if we were the first, but we were, first interview on Spectrum with the father and son, first time in the NBA. It was fun, and you could feel the giddiness between them. As they're going to be on the floor together. What are you going to call him? Are you going to call him Dad? Are you going to call him Bron? What are you going to call him? So it's very it was very surreal in a way, because you don't think of your son playing with you, but LeBron and Bronny, they're making history, and so I thought the interview was very well. They answered questions very honestly and genuinely. And I'm just looking forward to see how that's going to unfold.
All right, 4 seats on a lifeboat. You get one of them. 3 other people battling for seats, so there's going to be one person out. Chris McGee, Allie Clifton, Mike Bresnahan. Who drowns?
Brez is out. I'm sorry.
Oh! Brez, right overboard.
And it just goes.
Didn't even have to think about it.
No.
Well, I mean, Geeter and I 13 years.
Yeah.
Allie's been 7. And
so seniority rules in a situation like that.
Because Allie's, she carries the show.
Yeah.
Brez, even though he's a walking encyclopedia, we call him Mr. Wikipedia, but I didn't want to think about that one too long.
How did you invent the worthy clap? Like, did you go into a lab somewhere? Coached on that? Have you ever any worthy clap injuries? Any of that?
You're the first person that's ever asked me about how it invented. I think it, arrived or derived, whatever the word is, when we beat the Celtics, I believe. And I would get so excited that I just got down into this crazy defensive move and just start, like King Kong.
Yeah.
And then, we added the word, the clap, and people got used to it. Like after we win, they got disappointed when it didn't happen. So I felt pressured to do it. But, man, that's almost stuck with me as much as Chick Hearn giving me the name Big Game. So, yeah, we hope to see about –
all right.
Let me be realistic. I hope to see about 61 worthy claps.
Oh, wow.
There you go. I like that. I like that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Again, we are live right now at Ralph's in Redondo Beach. It's 1413 Hawthorne Boulevard in Redondo Beach. Gigantic Ralph's here, and gigantic, the Big Game James Worthy is with us. You can sign up or enter the Ultimate Winery Sweepstakes that is running now through October the 13th. One grand prize winner will receive a wine tour for 2 at Francis Ford Coppola Winery, round-trip airfare for 2, and a 2-night hotel stay. You can enter by going to ESPNLA.com or here at the booth, you can scan a QR code. Join us at Ralph's in Redondo Beach and check out a sampling of the wines inside. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. We are live today at Ralph's on Hawthorne Boulevard in Redondo Beach. That's 1413 Hawthorne Boulevard. And we are here with the great Big Game James Worthy. I wanted to ask you something about this, James. Obviously, new head coach, new coaching staff. What do you think? What do you think when you hear the word culture? They talk about culture around sports.
Yeah, culture,
By the way, I think it's overrated, and Mason thinks it's underrated.
I think it's a real deal.
I think, when I played, we felt like there was culture. The culture to play a certain way, the culture to certainly hold people accountable. Mm-hmm. But like I said, we had guys that spent 3 years in college where, a college coach job back then, the first thing he would do was just like rip your little ego out of your heart, develop a culture, team team.
Did Dean Smith do that?
Absolutely, he did it. He did it to me, Michael Jordan, everybody. Bobby Knight did it. Coach K did it. John Wooden for sure did it.
So as soon as you get it on campus, they get on you.
You know, it's just like you're a team. You know, you're no different than the manager or, you know, any student on campus. So once you establish that, you develop the culture. But now, you know, you don't have that, you know, and you don't get it in, you know, boys and girls club or, you know, AAU. You don't get a coach that can do that. So it's not as apparent as it used to be.
Right.
Those that have it, Denver Nuggets, the Lakers in 2020.
Right.
You know,
had that
the
great
Boston.
chemistry.
There's a culture
Miami.
that you can feel it as soon as you walk in the locker room, and it's apparent when you see it on the floor.
James, it seems to me that there's a different mentality with guys playing today than when you played. For example, you went to college with Sam Perkins and Michael Jordan, but when you played against them in the NBA, you wanted to kill them. Are these players today too close to each other? Is there too much fraternization, or is that just a fake narrative?
It comes with a different generation.
They all grow up playing AAU together, right?
I don't want to say it's anything wrong with that, you know, but we didn't have that. It wasn't the mentality of a warrior. It wasn't the mentality of, you know, a winner. You might go to dinner after the game, but it wasn't a lot of socializing. I told Sam I'd see him in June or July.
Right.
You know, and we knew that because I was going to have to play against him. But, you know, that's the mentality of, you know, that, you know, ancient warrior. It's a different mentality now. My kids don't think the way I think. It's a totally different way. So it's a little tougher for us to accept that. We're always going to say, hey, this is ours, but this is theirs. And, you know, it's not that bad.
It used to be Tommy Lasorda would say, no fraternization. He didn't want any frat. And those days are, I mean, these guys played together, AAU, all that stuff. So the mentality, and by the way, same in baseball, same in football. There is not that, you know, that almost like you or me, me or him mentality anymore.
It's a different thought pattern. I think our kids are, you know, in the 20s, and I think they're a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more educated than, you know, like my kids went to private school, and, you know, everybody has a little bit more awareness of what's going on, you know, and so a little bit more conscious and acceptable. So I just think it's, you know, it's just their time, and that's just the way they operate.
How long before you met Michael Jordan did you know he was Michael Jordan? Had you heard about him before he got on campus?
Well, you know, here's the thing. His roommate in college was Buzz Peterson, right? And Buzz Peterson was North Carolina Player of the Year over Michael Jordan that year. So there was a lot of buzz about Michael. We knew he was talented from a small 3A school in Wilmington. We knew he could play, but he was kind of a late bloomer even in high school. He was a better baseball player. But I knew right away, and I tell the story, you know, I was better than Michael Jordan, you know, for about 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But you knew that he was surging and he was going to be pretty good, but I had no idea he was going to, you know, turn out to be what he is.
All right, so
he's just amazingly good.
Mace, I know some stories that James has that you haven't heard, so I'm going to tee him up on a couple of these.
Let's go.
Tell me what it was like the first time you practiced with Magic Johnson.
So the first time I practiced with Magic Johnson in 1982, they brought me there for my speed and my ability to get on the break. And so I was going to show Magic just how quick I was and how I was out of the blocks. And so I get to half court. You know, I'm still 30 feet from the, you know, threat area, and the ball is already hit me in the head. Bam! And I'm looking at him like, I'm at half court. He said, you better be looking. He said, I'll get it to you wherever you need it. And sure enough, you know, he was the best guard ever that I've ever played against. But that's one.
But Michael Thompson told me the same thing. First day practice, if you don't keep your head on a swivel, you're going to get hit in the head with the ball.
He's so good, and he can get it to you from 2 feet or 75 feet. It doesn't matter. But I have another story about Kurt Rambis that, I was the number one pick, and the number one pick usually, goes to the team. He's going to start. He's going to be the star, blah, blah, blah. But the Lakers really didn't need me. They had won 2 out of 3 championships. So I walk in the gym the first day of practice, and I'm still kind of full of myself. We just won a national championship. I'm most outstanding player. I'm quick. I'm strong. I'm a power forward in college. So when I walk in the gym, I say there's Norm Nixon, Magic at the guards, there's Kareem, Jamal Wilkes was still here, and then Kurt Rambis walks in the gym. And I said, I can get that spot right there. I said, here's this goofy-looking guy with these glasses that had duct tape holding them together. He smelled like Ben Gay when you got around him. He was just, he hadn't shaved, he had hair on, like he was slow. And I was like, I got him. I said, but within 20 minutes of practice, man, Kurt Rambis showed me what an NBA power forward was all about. It was a lot different than college. And I said, no, I'm going to go over here and sit my ass over here with Coop and McAdoo and wait my turn. I said, I couldn't handle that heat, man. But there was some great stories early on.
All right, you mentioned that that Chick Hearn is the one who nicknamed you Big Game James. Mace, I don't know if you know this. James had one triple-double in his entire career.
Yeah, but I think it was in a really high-leverage game.
Game 7 of the 88 NBA Finals,
Yes.
and that was the birth of Big Game James.
Yeah.
I think most people know that story. What
Yes.
you may not know is Chick Hearn's famous call at the end of games. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is in the refrigerator. The lights are out. The butter's getting hard. You get that whole thing. The last thing you would say, you didn't grow up here. Greg, you probably remember this. You'd go, and the Jello's jiggling.
Absolutely.
Got that from your mom, correct? Tell that story.
Absolutely. Well, it all started with this big, huge satellite dish that I got my mom to put in the backyard in the 80s to watch the Lakers play.
Right.
The time difference. But she fell in love with Chick Hearn. She'd never heard an announcer like that. So she was, entertained by all his sayings. So to fast forward, Charlotte had a team, the Charlotte Hornets. So we'd fly to Charlotte. My mom would cook a bunch of food. She'd bring it over after the game. Chick Hearn loved my mom's sweet potato pies. She would always make him an extra pie. They fell in love with one another. She loved his sayings. Eggs are cooling, lights are out. And she said, why don't you add, and the Jello is jiggling.
Because your mom said that's how she knew when her Jello was done,
That's how,
right?
I guess if whenever you look in the refrigerator, I guess if you shake it enough, it
Jiggles a little.
Yeah.
And so Chick Hearn, he won an award in Vegas where he finally said it publicly where he got
He
it.
acknowledged
so
your mom.
It was very special. Very special.
Yeah, I love that.
That's
stuff.
very cool. Very cool. All right, so coming up next, we're going to spin the wheel of questions. You want to hang out for that?
Sure.
It's where we deal with a question that Laura's going to,
Okay.
is somewhere on there. Big Game James Worthy is with us. I want to remind you that we are in Redondo Beach on Hawthorne Boulevard at the Ralphs. It's 1413 Hawthorne Boulevard in Redondo Beach. We're here all afternoon, and Big Game James Worthy is with us. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Guys, I'm so excited that the wheel landed on this question.
Oh,
All right,
good.
What is the question?
Good.
Okay, so I did something today that I've never done. So if you guys are not aware, there is a Prince Purple Rain house up for grabs on Airbnb. You have to request to be able to book this. So I will be notified October 18th if I was one of the selected few.
Where is this house? Is it in California?
Oh,
Minnesota.
No. Minnesota. I would
Okay.
have to. I mean, listen, if it's going to be a Prince theme, I'm down because it's his childhood home in Minnesota.
It is his actual home.
It's his
His
actual
childhood home.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Oh.
Lisa and Wendy of the Revolution restored his childhood home, and people are, trying to see if they can get a one-night stay. So we'll see. And it's only $7 per person. So if you guys had a chance to book an Airbnb house that is restored into anybody's childhood, like a childhood home of an artist, who would you pick?
Well, what's interesting about this question, Laura, is that when we went to LeBron's museum, his house that he built for the kids in Akron, they recreated his childhood
Oh,
bedroom.
that's really cool.
one of the
Oh, that's
exhibits
cool.
there. So you can go back and see LeBron's room. I think if I could go back and see anybody's house, I wonder if, like, the early 1700 or late 1700 houses of, like, George Washington and John Adams and Thomas Jefferson.
I wonder if they're. I'm sure they're
are still in
out there
existence.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe go to Martin Luther King's house when he was a kid. I'd do somebody historic like that.
Sure.
Maybe Sinatra.
James, do you ever use an Airbnb?
I have not.
Yeah,
No,
I avoid them. I don't
Wait,
like.
didn't you stay one year when you went to the
Dan
World Series?
Zampillo stuck me
Yeah.
in one in Boston. I hate it. I don't like being in somebody else's house. I don't want to stay in somebody's house.
Kind of weird.
It's their stuff. It's
Yeah.
not my stuff.
I always think the eyes and the pictures are moving. like those old movies.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Bergman, what about you?
So I'm trying to think if I want somebody that was like a musician or something like that, like Jimi Hendrix. I think that would be a
Oh,
cool.
How about
that's
Well, you
fun.
probably have to go to London.
No, which
Yeah.
fine.
How about
I,
Deshaun Foster's childhood home?
I mean, cool. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because he's the UCLA head
Yes.
coach. I mean, no. But
That's
Mick
weird.
Cronin, you want to go that
Mick
route?
Cronin's
He's a great
childhood
head
home,
coach.
yeah.
Let's go with that.
There you go.
No, I don't like a Jimi Hendrix type of thing.
Yeah. Laura, did you have something? Oh, yours is Prince?
I actually would love Prince. That's more of my boyfriend's. I would probably do like Selena's house when she was younger.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Also,
Brian, you got one?
Yeah, easy. Shaq. I get Shaq's
Oh,
house.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
See how he's living.
Well, you probably needed an extra large bed. Although you told me a funny story, James, about when you went to North Carolina, they gave you a big king-size bed, and you gave it back?
Well, I grew up in a twin bed. I've been 6'8" since I was 9th grade. So there was no way my mom and dad were getting any
No room at your house.
no
Your
king size bed. You
family's
can
too
sleep
big.
on the floor. You can sleep in this twin bed. So I got used to kicking out the sheets at the end in order to make room. And so when I got to college, I was not comfortable
in a big
in
bed.
a 7-foot bed. I said, give me my twin bed back. And but I'm thinking of the question now. Like I might have to go with a pirate.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is this Captain Hook? Is that real?
Oh,
like,
I'm sure there was a Captain
Because I
Hook.
want to
Yeah.
find something.
not,
There
according
might
to
be-
Disney.
This
Yeah.
might be like
Do you want
another
the parrot
treasure.
for the shoulder and
And I
everything?
think the parrot, everything. I'll take the wooden leg.
Black
I'll
beard,
take
whether
the
it
peg
goes something
leg.
like
I'll take
that.
everything
Yeah.
to find
Red beard.
a chest of treasure. This might be something lingering.
Yeah.
So that's the. What's up, number 42? I see you over there. I see you, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
But yeah, give me a former pirate with some coins.
There you go. So I wanted to ask you, I was reading a story today. Is there such a thing as being too tall to play basketball? There is a freshman with Florida who is 7'9". His name is Olivier Roux. What do you make of a 7'9" player? He's only a freshman right now.
Well, when you think of what we have in San Antonio with Wemby, you think it's possible. But he is a 1 in a million freak of nature. I think anybody over 7'2", 7'3", they run into issues like mobility, running, being able to get their running going, injuries below the waist. And I haven't seen, other than like, Kareem, a 7-footer, very agile. Keem Olajuwon. I mean, there's been some. Wilt Chamberlain. But when you get over 7'3",
Yeah.
I mean, we had
That's
Chuck,
that's tough to
That's
drive.
we had
so
Chuck
tall.
Nevitt. Remember, we had Chuck Nevitt.
Yeah.
Now he's tall, but it took him a while to wound up to get going, and So yeah, I think there is a negative to being too tall. Who's the 7-foot guy we had in Washington?
Manute Bol.
Manute Bol was 7'7".
yeah.
And then George Mirasan is the
George
other guy they had.
Mirasan, seeing him run up and down the floor. But Manute was, he could shoot the three actually, but he knew how to, stand tall. But yeah, you run into issues.
By the way, that Florida team has 5 players 6'10" or taller.
They should put them all.
They're
out,
on big.
They should
They're
put them
on
all
big
out
this
there
year.
at the same time.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Exactly.
James,
That's tough.
James, we only got a few minutes left, and we're going to go let you meet some fans. But I wanted to ask you, we lost Jerry West this year. And I know Jerry West was someone that was very meaningful in your life. What did he mean to you?
Well, we had the same initials, JAW, and he was responsible for my NBA career. I mean, he chose me over Ralph Sampson, even though Ralph Sampson stayed in school at Virginia his senior year, over Dominique Wilkins, who was the human highlight film,
Right.
Terry Cummins. And when the Lakers thought about trading me, he stood up for me. So he's extremely honest and has always been honest with me, like bluntly, to the point where I didn't like it sometimes. But that's the relationship we had. And, you know, I could call him and I could say, hello, Jerry. And for the next hour, I would just listen to him. He could call me. And for the next hour, I would just listen to him.
He loved to talk.
And but I truly miss him. Didn't get a chance to say goodbye. I saw him like a month and a half before. He's done so much for the game of basketball and for life as a player, as a GM, as a contributor, and a lot of things that Jerry wouldn't want you to know that he's done. He's given so much to humanity. So yeah, he'll always be remembered. We're going to go back to induct Coop into the Hall of Fame. Jerry would have been. It still will
that's
be.
coming up next week, right?
Still will be.
Yeah.
So that'll be a special weekend. We'll all, remember the great one.
All right, I'm going to ask you an impossible question. The fate of the world is on the line. We have one shot, and we need a basket. Do you take it yourself? Do you give it a Magic? Do you give it a Kareem? Those are your three choices. To save the world, we need a basket.
Can I throw Kobe in there?
Sure.
No, I'm going to stick with my era. I'm going with the sky hook, man.
I thought you went to that.
I am going with the sky hook. It has defeated many generations. I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm definitely not taking it. But here's a question that I need you to find out for me. How many other Lakers, other than myself, that have had a triple-double with Magic Johnson on the floor?
Oh.
That's a great question. Yeah. Is there one?
You're not getting a triple-double with Magic Johnson on the floor. That's the problem.
Well, because you don't want to
unless you're getting blocks, 10 blocks, with assists.
You're doing it the hard way.
You know, I called a game once where Andrew Bynum had a triple-double with 10 blocks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was points, rebounds, and blocks, not assists.
That's got to be pretty rare, though.
Yeah, with assists, though. Well, I guess if you get it, it's normal, but the assist would be the normal way, the old way of getting it.
I think Wemby one day might get a quadruple double. I think he might get points, rebounds, assists, and blocks all in the same game.
I think one day soon.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Hey, do you think he's the next face of the league?
Without question.
He might be there now.
He's so dominant.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some great players in the league alongside with him, but he's going to stand out that much because of his versatility and how he impacts the game.
Yeah.
Well, I know there are a lot of people here that want to meet you, and we really appreciate you doing this.
Appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you for coming by. That is the one and only Big Game James Worthy.
And if you want to meet James and hang out with us a little bit, we are live at 1413 Hawthorne Boulevard in Redondo Beach at the Great Big Ralph's here in the South Bay. And by the way, the Ultimate Winery Sweepstakes that is running now through October 13th, there's one grand prize winner that will get a wine tour for two at Francis Ford Coppola Winery, round-trip airfare for two, two-night hotel stay. You can enter by coming to the ESPN LA booth. There's a QR code, or you can go to ESPNLA.com to enter. Join us at Ralph's right now, Redondo Beach. Check out the wine sampling inside the wine section.